Hello, and welcome to Color Commentary. I'm TJ, your average fan, and I'll be talking to you today about HBO and HBO Max's show, The Last of Us, Episode 3. And we're going to just get right into it, shall we? Spoilers! Okay, so, Episode 3, we got Joel and Ellie on their way to see the brink. They're traveling, they have to do a little camping. They'd made it about 10 miles outside of Austin at this point. And so on their way, Joel describes how everything started with Ellie, how the section started and how the world went crap. All in the span of like 3 days, from Friday to a Monday, everything was done. And how the food was what the cause was, the spread every day, what we learned from the last episode. And so she was like, wow, I didn't expect that, but I expected 7, And then they run into a mass grave in which apparently the government had rounded up people from all the small towns and stuff, telling them they was taking them to a quarantine zone. But if the quarantine zone was full, they killed them because dead people can't get infected. Wow. What? But it was an excellent transition from the mass grave to seeing the people that were in the mass grave alive getting rounded up. Because we go to a flashback to 2003 when it all started. They rounding up the people from this town where Bill lives. And so Bill is like a doomsday prepper, a survivalist. So he got all this stuff underneath his house. They didn't check his house. He's not there. They didn't check the basement. So he done made a room underneath the basement to hide. And so once they were all gone, he came out, started going around. He made sure his gas is on. He got him some fresh water. He got, electricity with a giant generator. He went and filled up his tank with gasoline and big drums with more gasoline. He set up an electric fence in about 4 years' time. That's how much time had passed from the time of the infection. That he had built the whole thing around the town. The electric fence, all kind of traps, everything to protect himself and anything coming in. To which we see he made dinner, he fancy with the dinners and the wine and all of that stuff. So then a regular person falls into one of his traps, a hole. And so he goes out there to see who it is, and then he threatened the dude and tell him, okay, go on about your way, I'm not gonna kill you. But the dude begging for food. And so he like, okay, I'll feed you. After he feed him, do you wanna play the piano? His name apparently is Frank. And so during piano playing is when we finally see that, Bill is lonely. Bill has been lonely for quite some time. And also that Bill is dead. So Frank clearly is. And so they end up with each other. Now, this happened for 4 years after the thing happened. So that's what, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was 2007. From this point on, it just reminded me so much of my own relationship. The arguments they were having, the fights, the happy times when they were eating strawberries and it just grew. During this time, about 5 years in, they meet Tess and Joel because Frank been talking to Tess on the radio and Bill didn't know nothing about it. So he wasn't very happy about that, let's just say. But they end up doing trades with them and getting stuff like the strawberries and clothes and stuff like that. So it actually turned out to be a pretty good thing that he was on the radio talking to them. That's also when they set up the little music cues, 70s, 80s, 60s for what stuff meant, 80s being danger, of course, which is what we heard at the end of the first episode on the radio. So it was just so good to see them just living life and living a good life until Raiders came along. Because Joe warned him, Raiders. But yeah, they came and hey, He was prepared. Bill wasn't playing. He had gas lines running out to spark torches and burn them up, and he was out there shooting, and then he had to transfer the guns that went off on their own. I mean, he had it going on. Frank came out there to help him, but Bill ended up getting shot. People want to say they want to blame Frank for distracting Bill, so that's why he got shot. But he was out there in the middle of the street. He was gonna get shot at least once. That's just a given. So they go back in and make you think that Bill is dead. No, Bill is fine. We go about 10 years into the future from that point, and it's Frank in a wheelchair because they both of them have gotten super old. You know, they were old to begin with, but then they got super old, and I believe that Frank had some type of cancer or something that they didn't see because he didn't have liver spots all over his head at first, but now he do. So I'm like, he got some type of cancer. They don't know how to fix it. Even Bill said, you know, we looked and researched, and what we do, there's no cure for it, and even if it was, there's no doctors to take you to get it right now. So, you know, we're doing what we can. This is when Frank decides that he's not going to be a burden anymore. He's tired of being in pain. He wants to take himself out. So he asked Bill to help him. And it was so sad. That whole 5 or 10 minutes of this interaction was just so emotional. It literally brought tears to my eyes to see them having their final day. You know, he made him breakfast, what he asked for. He took him outside to see his flowers that he had planted. He took him to the boutique. They changed their clothes. They got married. They had dinner. And then he took his medicine like he asked him to. Brushed it up, put it in his wine, and he drank it. But what Frank didn't know was that Bill had put the pills in the wine bottle. And so he drank it too. And so he was like, I'm satisfied. I got everything I want. And I found my purpose, and it was you, protecting you, being with you. And now you're finna be gone. I don't have to be here no more. Oh, why? It was so sad. Oh my God. So yeah, they both home, drunk the wine, went and laid down, and that was it for them. Now, mind you, Joe and Ellie is on their way to their house. And on the way, they stopped at this little store that Joe had stored some stash stuff in, and Ellie killed the clicker thing that was down in a hole, stuck by rubble, you know, and then they make it there. Let me just say that they make it there. And Bill had left Joel a letter and the keys to the truck. Told him, you have everything, you know, guys like us have jobs to do to protect people. And, you know, I had my person to protect. You got your person to protect. So do your best to protect them, damn it. And he left him everything. I mean, I'm just thinking about it. Just made me so emotional. So, yeah, they wrapped up everything. They got the guns. They got the essentials like tissue and soap, you know, and they got the truck. Joe put the battery together, charged it up, and they was out. He told him, look, told Ellie, go and see my brother. He used to be a firefly. Maybe he can help you get some other fireflies, help your situation, but that's where I'm going. She's like, cool. Whatever you say goes, bro. And they was off on their way. It was such a good episode. This show is amazing. It elicits so many emotions, and it's just really good writing. Really good writing. And for this to not be a really special effects heavy episode or a big action heavy episode, it was like one of the best episodes so far, and it's only the third one. Wow. Wow, wow. So, I think that this is going to get even more interesting. They still got a long way to go to get across the country. A lot of open fields to go through, a lot of dense major cities they got to pass through. So, pretty sure there's plenty of clickers out there to attack, and I'm here for it. I want to see it too. So, I will see you guys next week, episode 4. In the meantime, have a great day.